Good morning, welcome back to Kinta. Thanks for watching. What we're going to do today is we're going to do a bit of a comparison between what the farm looks like now and what it looked like back in July during our first flying visit. If you look back at the very first videos, which were very amateur, we're going to show you what it looks like now. So Barbara and I have been here now for 3 months, and we're going to go through, show you what we got on the land, what the land looks like now, and we're also going to talk through some of the plans that we've got over the next, well, couple of years probably, but anyway, over the initial period. And we're also going to go around the house as well and just show you what we're going to be doing there. So yeah, we'll start the tour.
Hi everyone, welcome to Quinta Barenta, our 3-acre farm in central Portugal. We are Justin and Barbara and moved here in November 2023 with our Labrador Guinness. Come and join us as we document the highs, lows and daily life renovating and restoring our beautiful Quinta and farmhouse. Watch the journey of our new lives in the countryside.
Okay, where I'm stood right now, this is the track leading up to our farm. Just where the pine tree is pretty much the border. When we first got here, we had to park the car, when we first got here in July, we had to park the car where the camera is now because we couldn't get up this track. It was too overgrown with brambles and brush and things like that. So luckily the neighbours come along in the meantime. They cut back a lot of the overgrown bushes and trees which were to the left here, and it did make our access a lot easier. When it does rain here, you'll saw from the previous videos, it does get very muddy, so we've put this gravel down just to make it a little bit easier in and out. And it is another beautiful day in the middle of February. Look at those skies. And you'll see on the right, that's the trap that we put up for the pine processionary caterpillars. It is working, there are caterpillars in there. We will do a little update on that at some point. And you can see behind me as well, we cleared a lot of this area of brambles and uncovered these beautiful stones. Nice little feature. And where I'm stood right now is the boundary. So everything you see behind me initially is the farm. We're at the very top of the land here. I will put a little map up on the screen exactly where we are. This is effectively the very top corner boundary of the land, and it's our very highest terrace. Behind me you've got maybe 5 or 6 pine trees. These are actually on our land as well. Our land sort of starts just where this first tree is. There's a funny triangular bit basically, but these are on our land. And this first terrace here used to be a small vineyard. Unfortunately got ploughed, so all you got left here is just bits of vines and things like that. So our plan will be to reinstate this as a vineyard in the next couple of years or so, but for now it's just left a little bit alone. But we have got an awful lot of lavender, I believe. So behind me is the funny little corner of our land. We're still on the top terrace, they're the pine trees. But where you can see the taller, small trees back there, that's effectively a little triangle of our land as well. The plan is to leave this actually wild. We feel that we don't want to sanitize everything so that there's no areas to be left wild. So this will be left wild within the terms and within the realms of fire safety more than anything. Behind these pine trees originally was also a water tank back in the day. It's no longer there, and that used to supply water into the house. We're not going to be putting that back. We've got another option for that, but this area will be kept wild. This is the second terrace. We don't know what was exactly on here originally. Doesn't seem to be any remains of any vines on here. What we're going to do this year is we're going to just keep this as a little bit of a wildflower meadow, albeit it's not a huge meadow, but we're going to keep this sort of semi-natural, and then possibly in the future we might also put vines in here, but it is quite a nice little growing area as well. This is terrace number 3. It's the one directly behind the house, and it's what the house is actually built into. This is going to be our main fruit and veg growing area, and as you can see, I've already ploughed it and then tilled it. We are going to put the polytunnel over in that corner over there, maybe a little bit closer to the house. We haven't fully decided that one yet. And this whole area will be fenced off because we do get visitors on the land like javeli and things like that, which we don't want really eating our fruit and veg. The reason we haven't fenced it off or put the polytunnel up just yet is because when they come to put the water well in, the man with the JCB is also going to remove the fig tree from behind the house and the brambles and dig down so that we can actually put a French drain in. That will just help drainage and help alleviate some of the damp issues that might be in the house. So yeah, this will be the main area of activity on a regular basis for growing fruit and veg. So terrace number 3 behind the camera. This is our living setup, if you like, for want of a better word. So got the caravan, got the awning. We got electricity going into the awning, which comes out from the house. We've got pallets here. These are for the base that's going to go underneath the awning, and also a base that's going to go underneath a bell tent, which we're going to put in there. This is the temporary veg garden. As I say, that will be the main one, but this is a bit like a test garden, for want of a better word. That way we can see what grows really well. Not that we have any major issues with it, but it isn't the final fix. Eventually this will be just a garden area or patio area or whatever. So yeah, so this is the terrace that the house is built onto. Terrace number 5 is the one directly below the house. Not going to do a lot to this terrace. We have got some wall repairs to do, but other than that, we're just going to put a couple of extra olive trees in the space behind me. There probably were some once. So that's pretty much it for this terrace. Just keep it as is, I think. This is terrace number 6. This is probably one of our wider terraces that we've got. Won't be doing a lot with this one either. We've got a little bit of space here where we could plant some more fruit trees, etc. along this edge. But the main task on this terrace will be to clear all the brambles. It's quite overgrown, and expose those beautiful terrace walls that we've got. Some of you will know that we're not connected to any sort of mains water here. So this is going to be our drinking water source for the property. In a few weeks' time, a man's going to come along with a JCB. He's going to dig down here. We're going to put some circular round concrete rings in, and then water flowing out of the water mine here will go into there. We'll then pump it up to the house. It will go through a filter system, and that way we'll be able to use that as drinking water. I will see if I can get a shot of the water coming through. And this water here runs all year round. So hopefully you can see that. And it's about that sort of stream all year round. And that is what they used to drink here back in the day. You agree with that, don't you, Gin? Yes, Dad. And this water actually carries on down through this channel.
It needs clearing out.
That all needs clearing out. Where there's water, there's brambles, unfortunately. And this area here is what we plugged. Oh, there's the froggies jumping in. I don't know if you saw that. And this is the excess water that we'll be using. Oh, plop, plop. This is the excess water we'll be using initially to irrigate the fruit and veg garden until we get the main pump installed down at the main well. But at the moment, this is a nice little habitat for frogs. And then the water flows from here. The pipe is bunged up at the bottom, but I think the water sort of comes around the side. You can see it coming around the side there. And it then flows down the land, past some lilies, and then round the corner. Terrace number 7, again, going to be leaving this one as is. We have been doing a lot of clearing of brambles, and we're gradually revealing quite a nice stone wall there, but a lot more to do. We've also got a lot of these cuttings left still from the olive trees. You'll see them in all the other terraces as well. We have got potentially a chipper on order, so we can help process these and use it for mulch, etc. But that hasn't been an easy thing to find, and that will connect up to the back of the tractor. Terrace 7 does also just extend over the little stream we've got running through here as well. This is the terrace where we put a couple of fruit trees, and it's also the terrace where the other ruin that's on the land is, so we will show you that as well. This is the ruin that's also on the land. It doesn't appear on the deeds, but it is obviously on our property. Fully granite stone, roughly 50 square meters. Got no immediate plans for this. When we do come to tidy it up, because it is absolutely chock-a-block full of brambles, we will do that as a separate video. But as we're gradually going through this terrace, cutting back brambles, we're revealing, I think, a nice stone wall that used to run along across here. That might need to be reinstated, and we are discovering more and more grapevines along here as well. Terrace 8, we're not being lazy. We will be processing the rest of these clippings. We are waiting to hear about getting a chipper. So once we get that, we can actually process the rest of this into mulch. But yeah, so terrace 8 will be left pretty much as is. This is also the terrace that's got the big grandfather olive tree on it, which has now had its massive haircut. And that is about a 300-year-old olive tree. Terrace 8 also extends over the other side here. We put a couple of pear trees in this side. This might be a nice little growing area as well, because it is quite moist here with water coming out of either the hill here. So a good little terrace, this one. This is our peach tree, or one of them. So we don't know how many we've got, but this is definitely a peach tree, and it's already beginning to come out in blossom. This is our main well. You see this in other videos when we put the fence up to stop Guinness falling in. At the moment, the water level hasn't changed. I think it seems to be at its own natural level. Lots of reed fluff, or whatever that's called, I can't remember now, and lots of frogs and that sort of thing. We will be clearing this out, not this year, but we will clear this out at some point, but we will be able to draw water from it. This is terrace 9 and 10. We've still got a lot of clearance to do on here as well, but with all the bramble clearance, we've actually unearthed some really nice features. Again, really nice sort of stone terraces, some in better condition than others, but we will get round to those eventually. But yeah, so this one and this one, 9 and 10. Below me is terrace 11, the final terrace we got on the land. This is a little bit difficult to access with a tractor, and we also have a very big bramble problem on this terrace, but it is an extremely wet terrace being right close to the river. So we'll show you what the river looks like now. We have in the edge of the stream there, we've got quince trees, we've got some canna or cane, a little bit like bamboo, and a few other trees which we haven't even managed to get into yet. We've got 6 or 7 of these very large willow trees. We are going to be cutting off the suckers that are coming out the side and having a go at making some fencing, or making some use of them at least, so it won't be going to waste. So following on from where the willow trees are, you can probably hear the river running right below us. The river actually marks the boundary of the land at the very bottom. And this is probably one of my favourite features on the land. Just look how that is flowing. Absolutely brilliant, crystal clear water. And one thing we did actually learn is that here, just below where Guinness is stood, there is a water pipe. And, oh, thank you, Guinness. And what they used to do back in the day is dam off this little area here behind us. That would divert the water along here, through the tunnel, and then out onto the terrace the other side, which would make that whole area very lush and green. But we're very lucky to have this river on the land. It does run most of the year, not quite, obviously in the summer not as much as this, but it's a really nice feature to have. So this is one of the quince trees, and it's already beginning to blossom. We haven't managed to cut any of this back or prune this ready for this year, but this will be full of quince, no doubt. And Barbara better bring her A game to make some quince jelly and some quince jam. Okay, we're down at the main house. Basically, quick snapshot what it is: 86 square meters footprint. The left-hand side of the house is made of granite. The right-hand side of the house is made of Tijolo bricks. This is the side of the house that's going to need rebuilding because a lot of the Tijolo bricks have rotted away, etc., etc. So yeah, we will be gradually refurbing this as and when we can. We haven't started doing any of the work on the house as yet, primarily because we don't have any water up here, so we can't mix concrete or cement or anything like that. So when that fix goes in with the water well, then we'll have water up here. We can actually start the process. Attached to the edge of the house is this sort of lean-to barn. At the moment, it's our storage area for our various gardening implements and our tractor, etc. This will eventually become our outdoor kitchen. We'll be removing the old bread oven, which is in there. Obviously redoing this totally, putting a different roof on it. And what we've also done is over the last week or so, in between the bad bits of weather, we've managed to get together probably 2 or 3 cubic meters worth of wood. It's mostly olive wood, a little bit of fig tree, but that will season and then we'll use that for burning next year. And in this corner here is the remains of a pigsty or 2 pigsties, and somewhere where we believe they used to keep rabbits in the top and chickens underneath. So haven't decided fully what we're doing with this area yet, but yeah, we will be doing something with that at some point. In the first section of the house here, we've got the bathroom off to my left, and we've got what was the old kitchen area off to my right through the little hatchway there, with an exterior door going to the outside. There's going to be a little bit of a role reversal on this one. So where Barbara was just putting the camera, that will be our bathroom. And this area here, the walls will be taken down. They're only light block walls. And this area will be made into our bedroom. We'll also possibly take down this wall, or at least move this wall. And this will come into what is going to be our kitchen and dining room. So we think when this house was originally built, this area here might have been a door because of the size of the opening. It's now been bricked up and put a window in there. But rough idea will be units round here, I guess sink area there, fridge freezer, somewhere like that. And we'll take out these walls here, and that will be our dining area with a door at the back going into our bedroom. And then this wall here, which is a granite former exterior wall, probably 2 or 3 meters in from the front of the building. We're going to do some form of archway or through into the room next door. I'm not going to wobble these too much because this is what's holding up this half of the building. So this is the Tijolo side of the property. As you can see, part of the reason that the wall fell down here is just that the bricks are generally disintegrating. But if you come in, you'll see what I mean about moving or putting a hole through the old exterior granite wall. So this is the old granite exterior. So hole here, walk through into the lounge area, sorry, into the kitchen. And this will be our lounge area. So probably put a couple of windows in or set of patio doors there, just where we came through. But back in the day, this was the wine adega. So they would crush the grapes in there. They would then transfer the juice into here. They would seal up this opening here that sort of screws up shut, and then they would either seal it with clay or beeswax, and that would then ferment, and then they would be drinking lots of wine. Unfortunately, the floor in here is not as good as the other one. It's sort of semi-concretey, so it's all new floors, etc. This is the other half of the Tijolo side of the house. This is where they used to keep the old donkey, not the old donkeys, but where they used to keep the donkeys and other animals in here. So it's a dirt floor, feeding trough at the back. It is particularly grim in here regarding the quality of the bricks and things like that. So, but plan will be, this will be a second bedroom. Small wet room or toilet facility, shower facility in one corner, bedroom, etc. I'd quite like to keep that feature going with the old animal trough, do something with it. I don't know what, but something like that. But and then a door going through into what is the lounge area next door. So we know that these tijolo walls are probably going to have to be rebuilt. We're going to build them out of block and put insulation in because there isn't any at all. We are going to be taking the roof off and replacing a lot of the roof beams and joists and things like that. Although we are going to retain this flat style of tile, we will also be reusing as many tiles as we possibly can. A, for cost, and B, because we actually quite like the sort of aged patina look. We'll give them a clean. So yeah, that will be the roof done. In total, the property as is 86 square meters of floor space, which is more than adequate for us, as it's just me and Barbara. But that is the current plan. Whilst we're outside the front of the house, what we're going to do is we are going to raise the roof very, very slightly on this side and bring the pitch of the roof down, or up. I don't know which way it is, but basically bring it out so we come out to about here, and this area here will be a covered seating, dining, lounging area, etc. Won't be made out of brick or anything, but we do want to bring the roof line down. We're going to keep the existing footprint of the house, which is 86 square meters. We're not moving that in any direction in any way. So yeah, this would be a nice little covered area to sit out in the sun. Barbara did ask me that she'd really like a washing machine solution, because at the moment we have to go into town to do the washing. I said, don't worry, I've got it all sorted. We've got a perfectly good washing machine just here, and it also used to be a twin tub. So the final part of the tour is the plans for this area here. So that is going to be the outside kitchen, and one of the thoughts we got is to make this a shed stroke storage area in general. Maybe put the tractor in here, other bits and pieces, little workshop, that sort of thing. Probably wouldn't take too much to do that. Yeah, and that will be the plans for Quinta Berenta. So I'll give you some facts and figures about the property that we've got here. It's 1.2 hectares, which is about 3.5 acres. It is in the northern central region of Portugal. We're not too far from the main city of Covilhã. And we bought this property in April 2023. We paid €47,000 plus about €3,000 for taxes, solicitors' fees, etc, etc. So yeah, we're very pleased. We've got all this land, we've got a house with an urban article, and we live in an absolutely lovely place. We've got well on the land, we've got spring, we've got 52 olive trees, around about 20 to 24 fruit trees, which are apple, quince, pear, peach trees, and we put a few more cherry trees in it. And there's something anywhere between 150 and 200 grapevines, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, we don't know. So yeah, we think we've done really well here.